Some of my earliest memories aren't of birthday parties or toys. They're of mental illness, fear, and confusion. My mom was just 18 when she married a musical prodigy, a man who had graduated from Juilliard, sang opera, and danced professionally. But within a few years, the brilliance turned into something terrifying. And when I was 8 years old, he ended his life. He left us a letter. This is part of my transformational journey. I want to take you back to before I was even born. When my mom married my dad, she was just 18 and he was 38. He completely swept her off her feet. He was brilliant, charismatic, talented. My dad was a musical prodigy. He won his first piano award at the age of 5. 5. He went on to graduate from Juilliard and then teach there. He was an opera singer, a professional ballroom dancer, and gifted pianist. To my young mother, he must have seemed larger than life. But a couple years into their marriage, things began to change. He would rant about conspiracy theories and became extremely paranoid. He began to implement some household rituals others would gasp at. The home slowly shifted from excitement to fear. He ruled with an iron hand and used corporate punishment freely and often. Mom, confused and worried, reached out to my dad's mother to ask for help. And that's when she learned the truth. My father suffered from schizophrenia and bipolar disorder and had even been institutionalized on previous occasions. My grandmother suspected immediately that my dad had gone off his medications. My dad would complain that the medications made him feel numb, and he believed he could manage the symptoms on his own. Unfortunately, this is a common misconception. For those of you unfamiliar with schizophrenia, it's a chronic, severe brain disorder that causes a disconnection from reality. It affects less than 1% of the population and typically emerges between the late teens and early 30s. Symptoms can include hallucinations, like hearing voices, delusions, false but deeply held beliefs, disorganized thinking and speech, social withdrawal, reduced motivation, and decreased emotional expression. There's currently no cure, but therapy can help to manage the symptoms and allow for improved functioning. Most people require lifelong intervention, usually including antipsychotic medications and psychosocial therapy. Why do people who suffer from schizophrenia often stop taking their medication? There are a few key reasons. The main one is called anosognosia, which basically means a lack of insight. In simple terms, they don't understand they're ill. Another reason is when the medications start working, they can have a sense of feeling normal or cured, and they begin to believe they no longer need the medication. And because of the nature of the disorder in it of itself, there can be a sense of distrust and paranoia. Patients may become suspicious of doctors, even family members, or the medication itself. After learning the truth, my mom stayed, and she did her best to get him help. By the time she found out she was pregnant with me, she was at her wit's end. She loved her children so dearly, but did not want to bring another child into this chaos. My mother came from a dysfunctional family herself, and I believe that she believed this was the hand she was dealt. so she did her best to manage. My parents divorced when I was 2, but my mom, being the amazing woman that she is, still did her best to care for my dad and ensure that he was getting the help that he needed, all while raising 5 children as a single mother. I remember spending a lot of time with relatives on both sides, on my mom's family and my dad's family. I have vague memories of my dad and grandma picking me up from kindergarten. Being the youngest was twofold. On the one hand, I didn't have to experience my dad's illness as my older siblings did, especially the 2 oldest. But on the other hand, I had to witness how the trauma unfolded and played out in their lives. I watched drugs and alcohol become coping mechanisms. I watched the chaos that follows pain left unhealed. My poor mother had her hands full, yet she still managed to keep a roof over our head and even provide us with the latest fads and fashions. She tried her best to give us stability, even when life was anything but stable. And then, when I was 8 years old, my father ended his battle with a bottle of codeine. This is a letter that he left for us children. I don't have much to give you, my children, except perhaps what is most important in this world. And that is that I love you all very much. I wish I had shown all of you more of that love when I had the chance. But I want all of you to know now that it was always there. Please forgive me all my trespasses, as I have long forgiven the trespasses you have against me. Please remember that you are all children of God. Please live according to God's law. Believe me, it'll save you a lot of pain, anguish, and misery later in life. Follow God wherever you go. It seems so hard to do nowadays. I love you all very much with Christ's love. May God bless you always. Always be happy with God. Love, Dad. That letter was a major part of my transformational journey.
Millions of people suffer from mental illness, substance abuse disorder, suicide ideation, or loss of life. If you or someone you know needs help, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, strives to deliver better health outcomes, offering interventions and programs that are based on gold standard science and research. This battle does not have to be fought alone.